Hey guys, Romansliders here, and welcome to a new episode of Playtime. This time I'm playing Kid Icarus, that was released for the Nintendo Entertainment System back in 1986. And there is the title screen. And here we go, straight into the first level. Now what makes Kid Icarus quite interesting among video games is that it's not a traditional side-scroller, very much, it's quite unique. And the reason for that is because it, instead of being a horizontal side-scroller like most games where you go from left to right, this is a vertical side-scroller, so you are continually moving upwards. And you can travel from one side of the screen to the next. If you go off the screen, you end up on the other side. Like so. See, there we go. Quite a neat trick that is. No matter how many times I see that, I'm always fascinated by it. It's really simple, but it looks really cool nonetheless. And of course we are playing as Pit, who is the main protagonist of the Kid Icarus franchise, and we have to collect 3 sacred treasures in order to save the land of... there we go again. Save the land of Angel Land and the goddess Palutina. Oh, nothing's in here, so we'll just move out from there. So this game was initially going to be, actually it was created for the Family Computer Disk System, a forerunner to the forerunner to the NES, I should say, and was only released in Japan and was used the medium of floppy disks to transmit games on, and this was mainly saw as beneficial to cartridges since it could hold more data, and so initially Kid Icarus was designed for the Family Computer Disk System, as it allowed the developers to create a more expansive game world and also be able to save player progress directly onto the disc. However, the Family Computer Disk System was only in Japan, and so a cartridge version of Kid Icarus was released for the rest of the world, and use a password system instead to save progress. Of course, we wouldn't actually see a cartridge-based save system until the first Legend of Zelda game, which was incidentally also released in 1986. Of course, this game was created by the Nintendo Research and Development 1 division, although the game was actually programmed by an outside company called Intelligent Visions. So we've just got to make our way up, and I think this is almost the end of the level. Okay, and yes, that was the end of the level. Total score 2,500. Not bad, but could do better, I guess. Right. This game is very hard, I must say. There are lots of enemies on screen, and you've only got a limited bow to shoot from, and so it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So, if we go through here, so the best case is just trying to avoid as many enemies as you can while trying to climb up the level. I think the only other game that I can think of which is a vertical side-scroller would be Ice Climbers, and itself a launch title for the NES. Well, let's see what's in here. Oh, it's a shop, but what do you say? Try buying from me. Oh, careful, get out from there. I don't have enough points to buy anything, so I'm gonna have to leave, unfortunately. And yep, there are lots of enemies here. Now, of course, Kid Icarus would be followed by a Game Boy sequel released in 1991 called Kid Icarus of Myth and Monsters, which very much used the same game mechanics as this game, and it wouldn't be until almost 20 years before we saw Pit in any other form. He was, although at the time in the early 80s and, the 80s and 90s, he was a regular character on Captain N the Game Master, but he wouldn't really appear in video game form until Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which introduced a completely new 3D version of Pit, and this led to speculation that there might be a new Kid Icarus game in the works, and indeed there was, with the release of Kid Icarus Uprising for the Nintendo 3DS, and that game differed quite a lot from its platforming roots. It became a 3D rail shooter, and I've just fallen straight off the screen. I'm finished. Indeed, there is a password, but luckily I get to start at the beginning of the level again, so it's not too bad. But a bit irritating nonetheless. At least I don't have to start all the way back from the very first level. That would be terribly irritating. Not to mention incredibly insufferable as well. Anyway, it's such a odd thing that this game only really has, this franchise I should say, only has 3 games in it. Oh come on! Now I'm just making silly mistakes now. Oh dear. Let's try that again, shall we? Just got to be very careful. Alright, grab the heart piece, and try not to get hit by the enemies. Alright, let's do this. Go through there. It's a very neat shortcut that is, going from one side of the screen to the next. And what? Oh, come on! Died the exact same way there. I can't believe it. I'm just not trying, man. Okay, third time's the charm? Well, maybe. Now, one of the developers on Kid Icarus was let's see if I can get this name right, he was Gunnopi Yokai, who was the creator of the original Game Boy, so that's a bit of interesting trivia for you. Japanese names aren't the easiest to get right, particularly if you're a Westerner, but I try my best to get the pronunciation right, or at least approximation of it. Oh. And the game was... hold on, no, I can't really... I'm gonna have to leave because I don't have enough points to buy anything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave. So this game was targeted for December 1986, right at the end of the year, and so the team had to work overtime and sleep in the office. And sleep in cardboard box, interestingly, and they had to work very hard to get this game ready for release. Although in 1987, a cartridge version was released in the West for the NES. So this game had a lot of love put into it, but it was also very intense. But it definitely has become a cult classic, Kid Icarus. So it's great fun nonetheless. Now I've just got to make the jump. Be careful here, because that's the ice platforms. Have to make sure I don't slip off. There is something very interesting about vertical side scrollers. I simply think because there just weren't enough of them, and so many games were horizontal side scrollers instead, and going from left to right, but here you just travel upwards, and it gives an odd sense of it gives an odd sense of freedom, because it feels like you're scaling upwards, and that there's like some mountain to get on top of. Anyway, that's my opinions on it. Oh, careful. I really think there should have been more Kid Icarus games. He never appeared on the Pit, never appeared on the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo 64 or the GameCube even. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's try to do this one more time. Although Kid Icarus was re-released on the Game Boy Advance back in 2004 as part of the NES Collections Classic series, I of which have the original Legend of Zelda in that series. I incidentally bought that in America. So, back in 2004, yes, when I visited Florida, I enjoyed that visit. Got to go to Universal Studios, SeaWorld. It was a very relaxing holiday. I very much enjoyed it. But anyway, back to this game. And I'm struggling to scale this level here. Primarily an ice level, I guess. But there are lots of enemies to take hold. Can I get to that door though? Yep, I think I can. Oh, but I think that's a that was a shop, so I'm going to avoid that. Got to be careful not to get hit. Jump over that. Come on. Got it. Okay. I don't think I can get that heart piece though. If I do, I'll probably fall off and die. So we're just going to keep going on forward. Alright. Back to where we were. Oh, careful, careful. Alright. Oh, it's. Oh, no. Oh, what? Oh, slipped straight off there. Oh, well. Anyway, guys, that does it for me. This has been Kid Icarus, and remember to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. So until then, peace out, guys.